Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review. And this movie, this movie was actually released in theaters, but this movie falls to me under our quarantine movie series. Again, the quarantine movie series is movies that we would not normally review, but it's a quarantine, and lots of these movies are being dropped every day, and it's kind of making up for all the big studio films that are getting held back, and they're dropping these films for us to see. Now, granted, this movie is technically a studio film, but it feels like a quarantine movie. And the name of this one is Come Play, and it stars Gillian Jacobs as Sarah. You don't need to know anybody else in this movie. Here's the quick synopsis. A monster named Larry manifests itself through smartphones and mobile devices. That's it. That's all you need to know about this film. So, I'm sorry, this is hilarious. Come Play was based off of a short, and it was a well done short. And it looks like they gave them more money to do a film after the short, and they decided we're just gonna try our best to extend a concept that may be silly to a full feature length film. Now, the Monster Larry, which I think was done by the team behind Jim Henson's work. So he looks at times pretty cool, pretty decent, but just about nothing else in this movie works at all. At all. So it starts with Sarah and her autistic son, who happens to magically have a book come up on his tablet, and the book introduces him to Larry, who just wants to be friends with him, and it's just hijinks after hijinks after hijinks, attempted jump scares after that. First and foremost, the film, it looks his budget, if that's the best way to put it. It's not shot well. The pacing is not too bad on it. It has the typical horror movie score. So, meaning like highs and lows. Everything raises up when it needs to raise up to try to make you jump. Everything goes to a little like minimum sound to like bring you in closer type thing. But none of it ever works. The kid here, I can't remember the young actor's name who plays it. John Gallagher Jr. I believe that's him. No. John Gallagher Jr. is actually the father, and Asher Robertson, I think, is Oliver. He's the kid in this film. To not offend anybody, the kid in this movie is annoying, to say the least. Super annoying. I don't know why the people behind this project felt the need to make the kid autistic and to add a crutch to him when he's autistic as a plot device like that. At this point, I am kind of over films taking children with special issues and attempting to take advantage of those special issues to move their stories forward. To me, that's lazy writing. Extremely lazy writing. He could have just been a kid with autism, and he didn't need everything else that they needed to put in with him being autistic in the film. Like, they overly highlight that that's his issue because they need that to be his issue because it gives a reason for this film to exist. But this film is so poorly done, it makes the kid annoying the entire film, and that's a problem, along with his mom being annoying. Like, in all honesty, this is a monster film that you're supposed to feel something that you don't want to get the monster to get the kid, and you want the mom to be the hero. The entire time I'm watching this movie, I thought, let the monster take him. Like, the kid's irritating. Just give him to the monster and get this over with. That's what it felt like in this film. And when you get to that feeling of it, especially in horror movies, at that point, it's lost you. Because you need to care about the characters in the horror movies to make the horror movies work. And this one does a horrible job. Horrible job at it. I can't remember. I think this may be a Focus Film movie. And they thought this would go into theaters well. And it performed relatively well with the pandemic. It still made a good amount of money that, to me, it would have made much more than that if we weren't in a pandemic. So it worked for some people. For me, this is a poorly done, poorly constructed horror movie that takes advantage of a kid's autism to make the plot move better, but it never works. The creepy stuff in this movie is that it's not creepy. The suspenseful moments they try to build, it never really builds, and it just doesn't work on so many levels. And for that reason, it would literally be something I will never watch again. And I watch bad horror movies repeatedly. This one, at times, I thought they were attempting to do a different spin on Darkness Falls, which is a bad horror movie but entertaining horror movie that was released, I want to say, in the early 2000s. So I thought maybe that's what the tone they were attempting to set with this, but it never works. And even when it could work, they pull the rug from under it and then give another disability to another kid, and then magically that kid gets healed from the disability without really explaining anything to us. So it's just sloppily made here. It's a sloppy made horror film that nothing works. Not direction, not performances, not plotting, not story. Nothing works well. So come play. It is currently playing in theaters. I believe it's about to drop on VOD, or it is available on VOD also. Out of a possible 10, I am going to give this movie, for only the second time I've done it. Wow, second time I've said this, a 0 out of 10. I can't recommend this movie to anybody. Beyond, to me, it not being scary and it's supposed to be a horror movie. The everything else is just bad. The performances are bad, the pacing bad, and I have a serious issue with you using a kid's autism as a plot device. I have an issue with that. I have a serious one with it because, again, to me, it's just super lazy. It's so many different things you could have done with this kid in this movie, and you do none of them. And instead, you go out the way to make the kid irritating, and again, you go out the way to make it where I don't care if the kid lives or dies. At that point, you have failed this city, as Oliver would tell you. So you have failed your audience when you do stuff like that. This has been another JVS movie review. Again, come play. It is available, I think, in theaters and on VOD. So if you disagree with me, or if you just want to check it out on your own, check it out. Let us know what you think. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments, because I would be highly interested to the people who would love to see a movie that is executed this bad. I would love to know those people and pick their brains on this one, because maybe they're seeing something that I completely missed, and I'm all for people correcting me and maybe opening my eyes to something different and making me rewatch the film and maybe come with a different perspective. But until now, worst horror movie of the year. Peace, people.